Week 1 of the NFL season is wrapped up and it's in the books. It's time to look forward to Week 2. But before that, we gotta kind of discuss some 5 shocking things that we saw this weekend. 1. I didn't expect the 49ers to just completely dominate the Rams on Monday night. In fact, especially 28-0. Let's see. The Buccaneers upsetting the Falcons. That's kind of something I could have anticipated, as the Atlanta Falcons have not done good in division games for the last 3 or 4 years. The Chiefs making the strong comeback against those Chargers. A huge fourth quarter rally to force overtime. Dez Bryant only having 1 reception for 8 yards. So yes, Dez Bryant and Todd Gurley totally killed me in fantasy this week, at least in just my PPR league. I won my other 3 matchups. However, the gutsiest thing all weekend, whether it was college or pro, Jack Del Rio decides to go for 2 instead of the tie against New Orleans. And Derek Carr throws a fade route to Michael Crabtree. Even Richard Sherman was impressed. I don't really know if he was impressed or not. But I was impressed with the decision. Now, on to the Week 2 predictions. Actually, there's still 2 more things that were shocking to me. The Patriots beat the Cardinals, probably one of the second best defense in the NFC, without Tom Brady. Unbelievable, Jimmy Garoppolo just led the Patriots into Arizona and pull off that upset. But Chandler Catanzaro missed. He just hooked the go-ahead field goal. And the Panthers missed a field goal to take the lead against Denver with about 7 seconds left. It's a heartbreaking loss for the Panthers and the Cardinals. The 2 teams that faced off the NFC Championship game are already behind the 8 ball this year at 0-1. Packers almost losing to the Jaguars. See, I said there was only 5 shocking things, but there's probably more than that. Kind of another shocking thing is the Vikings decided to put in Shaun Hill over Sam Bradford against the Titans. I guess, yes, it was against the Titans, but does Mike Zimmer really want to put Shaun Hill, like a 34-year-old, against the Packers defense? Well, they're probably going to hand the ball to Adrian Peterson maybe 25 times in the game anyway. In fact, that's probably the only chance the Vikings really have, is to just feed Adrian Peterson and rely on the defense. Let's see, what else really stuck out to me this weekend? Oh yes, the Lions. It looked like the Lions were down and out. They were trailing by a single point in the last minute. But Matthew Stafford just rallies his offense to get into field goal range for Matt Prater to redeem himself after a missed extra point prior to that. And I think that should do it for things that stuck out to me this weekend. Let's get to the Week 2 NFL predictions. Now I really need to step up this week after a abysmal 9-7 Week 1 record. I was behind the 8 ball early because I picked the Panthers last week. I also picked my Atlanta Falcons. I always pick the Falcons, don't I? At least in the beginning of the season. But then I rallied up 5 in a row with the Vikings, Eagles, Bengals, Raiders, and Chiefs. They made a strong comeback in San Diego. Then I lost the Bills to the Raiders. But that was kind of a crapshoot game in my opinion. Because it was just so low scoring of a game. Any team could have won that. In fact, the final was, I believe it was 10-7. So that was basically a crapshoot game. Then I got the next 3. The Packers, the Seahawks, and the Texans. However, the ending was horrible as I picked the Cowboys, the Colts, the Cardinals, and the Rams. What I did win with the Steelers, thank you, Antonio Brown. So 9-7. I don't think that's too bad as a record right now. I believe 9 divided by 16. That's still above 500. So let's see if I can get better this week. The goal for this week is maybe, let's go with 11-5 this week. The goal is 75% accuracy with NFL picks. So let's start off the Thursday night game. the Jets versus the Bills. Now, I like the Jets in this one. I know Rex Ryan is going to be amped up for this game as he faces the team that fired him 2 years ago. So he's going to be jacked up for this game. But I still like the Jets doing this one. I just think that Ryan Fitzpatrick and the offense is going to... I think they're going to have a bounce-back game. And I think Darrelle Revis will as well. Because he will want to prove something after being torched by A.J. Green last week. 49ers versus the Panthers. Now, the awkward thing is in this matchup is the 49ers is the team that's is the team that is 1-0. Panthers 0-1. So this is a really awkward matchup to begin with. Because people that don't watch football on a regular basis, or someone that hasn't watched football before, would assume the 49ers are a better team. But realistically, the Panthers are way better than the 49ers. So, basically, if you're someone that doesn't watch football at all, let me just tell you that the Panthers are way better than the 49ers, and it's going to be proven in this game. I like Cam Newton to just completely dominate this 49ers defense. I'm going to go out and say that Cam Newton gets like 6 touchdowns in this game. Alright, now this matchup I really wish was the Monday night game. Because I think we can do way better for Monday night game than the Eagles and the Bears. I mean, are you kidding me? Cowboys versus Redskins, that would have been a better Monday night game, but I guess it was because the Redskins had a Monday night game last week. Or at least make this a Thursday night game. I mean, come on. This would have been a way better Thursday night matchup. Or the Sunday night matchup. Would have been better to see it in prime time. The Cowboys and the Redskins. Dez Bryant going up against Josh Norman. Probably two of the most arrogant players in the NFL. Well, maybe not arrogant, but Dez Bryant kind of has the attitude, and Josh Norman kind of has the chip on his shoulder. So basically, two athletes, probably two of the most athletes in the NFL, that have a big chip on their shoulder, going at it against each other. Could this be another OBJ versus Josh Norman? I think it easily is going to be. Probably, but without the fight. But I do think that Dez Bryant and Josh Norman will exchange a lot of words throughout this game. You've heard it here first. I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win this one. I just think that the difference in this game is not going to be through the air. I think it is going to be on the ground, and that Cowboys offensive line is going to look for something to prove. I just think Ezekiel Elliott and Alfred Morris is going to be a huge difference in this game. So I like the Cowboys to win in a close one, but highly offensively contested. And I do think that Dez Bryant will get more than one reception for 8 yards in this one. Alright, another huge division rivalry match. The Bengals and the Steelers. Now, the last time we saw the Bengals and Steelers play against each other, the Bengals just basically took themselves out of the playoffs. Now, the Bengals are looking for something to prove, but I just think it's going to be hard to beat Pittsburgh in Heinz Field. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this one. I just can't bet against the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown and DeAngelo Williams. I just can't really do that. I think this game is going to be highly offensively contested as well. I'm going to go with probably 34-28 in favor of the Steelers. Alright, this game also has potential to be highly offensively contested, but I think it's going to be lower than what everyone thinks. Because Drew Brees and Eli Manning. Eli Manning has Odell Beckham Jr. as his lifeline for receivers. Drew Brees has Brandon Cooks as his lifeline, as what we saw on last Sunday. As Drew Brees kind of got his momentum going with a 98-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks. However, the Saints still lost a heartbreaker. So I like the Saints to just use that as motivation for this one, as I like the Saints to win this one against the Giants. Alright. The Dolphins at a Tom Brady-less Patriots team. Now this has the potential to be kind of a good game. We saw the Dolphins compete really hard with Seattle, only losing 12-10. But since this is in Foxborough, we are unsure whether Gronkowski will be playing. Although even if Gronkowski does not play, I could see Jimmy Garoppolo really looking for Julian Edelman. Probably LeGarrette Blount will probably be a huge difference in the running game, as we'll be able to see that. I just can't bet against the Patriots at all. I mean, even though they don't have Tom Brady and a strong possibility without Gronk, nothing just seems to phase the Patriots. So I'm going to pick the Patriots to win this one. Sorry, JTWWE, who was a subscriber to this channel. But I just think the Patriots just look way too strong, even without Tom Brady. Alright, the Chiefs and the Texans. Now, this is a rematch of Week 1 last year in the regular season and in the wild card round. The Chiefs won both those ones. The playoff game was a humiliating loss 30-0 for the Texans. I like the Texans to really compete in this one this time around. Although the two games that the Chiefs and Texans played, the Chiefs basically dominated both the games. Although the first one was only a 34-27 victory, the Chiefs were just dominant throughout the first half of that. And I like the Chiefs to continue that. I don't think it's going to be a dominating win for Kansas City, but I like them to get it done. I'm gonna say it's going to be about, I'm going to say maybe 21-17. There's going to be some defense in this one. Titans and the Lions. Now this is one of the crapshoot games this week. This one is just a straight up crapshoot. Because both these teams should look kind of two of the weakest, probably top 6 weakest teams in the NFL. So this one's a crapshoot. So I'm going to just pick the Lions just because of what we saw last week out of Matthew Stafford. Looks like Matthew Stafford can really redeem himself this year. As I've been saying throughout with an ample of times throughout the last several months, that 2016 is going to be Matthew Stafford's last chance with Detroit. I think he's really trying to earn his keep in Detroit. So we saw that in Week 1. I like that to continue against kind of a weak Titans secondary. So I'm going to pick the Lions to win this one. All right, Ravens and Browns. So this is another crapshoot game because both these teams they don't have the potential to be Super Bowl champions yet, and probably for the Browns, probably never. I actually like this to be a close one. I just like the Ravens to win a low-scoring one. Again, that's just a crapshoot game. Yes, we have a little bit of several crapshoot games this week. This one could be a crapshoot depending on how you look at it. Based on how Seattle played last week, the Seahawks versus the Rams is kind of a crapshoot because the Seahawks lost to the Rams twice last year. And the Seahawks looked really weak against the Dolphins. Seahawks didn't look like the Seahawks team we were expecting to see this year. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win this one. I think they're going to get their mojo back this week. Sorry to the Rams fans that watch this channel on an occasional basis. Or on a occasional basis. Buccaneers versus the Cardinals. Now this one's not necessarily a crapshoot. But I would say that the Buccaneers, they theoretically dominated Atlanta, unfortunately. Jameis Winston just torched Atlanta's secondary. So Atlanta's secondary is just complete crap. And Jameis Winston just basically just turned it into shreds. However, I really don't see Jameis Winston picking Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu to shreds. So I'm going to pick the Cardinals' defense to be the difference in this one. Alright, Jaguars and Chargers. Now this is another crapshoot game. At least I think it's a crapshoot. But I'm going to pick the Jaguars to win based on how they competed against Green Bay last week. In fact, both these teams competed really well. The Chargers blew the lead. The Jaguars, they really gave the Packers, who are probably the favorites in the Super Bowl right now, a run for their money. So I'm going to pick the Jaguars to win just for that reason. I think TJ Yeldon's going to be a huge difference in this game. So I like the Jaguars to win. Alright. My Atlanta Falcons versus the Raiders. Now I looked at the Atlanta schedule, and after that loss against Tampa Bay, I panicked. Because we have just a tough slate of games coming up. I mean, we have the Raiders this week, who I'm intimidated by it. We have the Saints next week. And then the basically Panthers, Broncos, Seahawks. So the Falcons have potential to start the season 0-6. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen, but I think we're not going to go into the Chargers or the bye week or whatever it is first with a 500 record. I want to pick the Raiders from this one in hopes that I'm really wrong. So I'm going to pick the Raiders to win that. I just think Derek Carr is just going to expose Atlanta secondary. I would probably consider putting Derek Carr like on your FanDuel leagues if you still do that after this whole argument with FanDuel and DraftKings. If you still do either one of those, I would probably put Derek Carr as the quarterback because I can see him getting at least 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns against this horrible Atlanta secondary. All right, Colts and the Broncos. Now this is, I don't know. I mean, could it be a crapshoot? As I've been going through these games, I can see at least half of these being crapshoots. I like the Broncos in this one. I just think their defense will be the difference. Even if Andrew Luck can just basically get like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, the defense is just horrendous, and I don't think they'll be able to stop the running game of C.J. Anderson or Demaryius Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders. So I like the Broncos to pick up this win. Although it wouldn't surprise me at all if Indianapolis ended up pulling it out, kind of like what happened last time. The Colts winning as a huge underdog. Nobody thought they were going to win, and then they ended up winning. But that was in Lucas Oil. This is in the Mile High. So I'm going to pick the Broncos to win this one. I just think Trevor Siemian looked okay against the Panthers. I'm not going to lie. But I just think that the Broncos are just too strong of a defense for Andrew Luck to handle. All right, 2 more games left. We're getting there. All right, Packers and Vikings, a huge divisional rivalry game. I'm going to pick the Packers on this one. I just think that the Vikings they're going to be relying on Adrian Peterson, the defense, all throughout this year. And I just think they're not going to be able to beat the Packers at all. I like the Packers to win by at least double digits. All right, the Monday night game. Eagles and Bears. Kind of a crapshoot. The Eagles looked good last week, but it was against the Browns. The Bears got off to an early lead against the Texans, but then they lost 23-14. So this is kind of a crapshoot. I am going to pick the Eagles to win this one, and for 2 simple reasons. 1, the Bears with Jay Cutler will probably never make it to a Super Bowl. At least that's what people think. And 2, I just think the Eagles look way stronger on defense this year than in years past. I just think the Eagles' defense is going to be too strong for Jay Cutler. I can honestly see the Eagles' defense being a huge difference maker in this one, so I'll pick the Eagles to win. So that's going to do it for your Week 2 NFL predictions. As a review, I like the Jets over the Bills, Panthers over the 49ers, Cowboys over the Redskins, Steelers over the Bengals, Saints over Giants, Patriots over the Dolphins, Chiefs over Texans, Lions over Titans, crapshoot game, Ravens over the Browns, another crapshoot, Seahawks, Rams, kind of a crapshoot, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Jaguars over the Chargers, another crapshoot game, Raiders over the Falcons, kind of a crapshoot game, Broncos, Colts, also one of those, it could be a crapshoot, Packers over the Vikings, and the Eagles over the Bears in a sort of crapshoot game. So that was the Week 2 NFL picks. I repeated those just for the folks keeping score at home. I really hope to step it up this week. My goal is 11-5 as I look to improve after a kind of an okay 9-7 start to the year. All the games are just crapshoot's in Week 1. You don't know what to see out of most teams. We probably won't see what most teams are made of until about Week 5 or 6. Now that's going to do it. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your fellow NFL fans. Anyway, follow my Sports account at JB Talk Sports. And that's it for you. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next week.